Chicken Fillets here, and I thought I'd do an off-the-cuff talk about Final Fantasy VIII. Now, the last time I did an off-the-cuff one-shot video was about Nier Automata, and I got quite good feedback about that, so I thought I'd try something similar with Final Fantasy VIII. Now, before I actually begin, there may be spoilers, so, I'm warning you now that I could talk about spoilers, so yeah. I've said the word spoilers a few times, so if you've not got it, there's spoilers. So why I wanted to talk about Final Fantasy VIII is Final Fantasy VIII to me is a fantastic game, and it does receive a lot of flack, and there's obviously good reasoning behind it, but I feel it gets way too much flack than it should really get. And generally I wanted to talk about Final Fantasy VIII because I feel it's a Final Fantasy I don't really talk about, but it's actually a really important one to me. So my history with Final Fantasy VIII, Final Fantasy VII was my first Final Fantasy, and Final Fantasy VIII was my second. Now I remember getting Final Fantasy VIII for my birthday, which was on the year of release, which was 1998, showing my age. And I remember getting it for the PlayStation 1 for my birthday and just being utterly besotted with the world of Final Fantasy VIII. The likes of playing as Squall and the rest of the Seed members, going round the Balam Gardens, going onto the world map, etc. Going into a new complete battle system, which you had to kind of relearn, considering I'd only been used to Final Fantasy VII's Materia system, and then you're jumping into the Junction system, which is completely different. You're grabbing magic from your enemies and you're using that to your advantage and putting it to your characters and boosting your stats with that, and that felt totally unique to me at the time. The likes of the character models were a complete upgrade from Final Fantasy VII, where they were more lifelike than they were compared to FF7, the little block people. Now, the story-wise with Final Fantasy VIII, I've never had a problem with the story. And yeah, it does have moments where you go, what are they on about? Because there is bits with time travel, there's a sorceress taking over other sorceresses. And then there's like floating academies, battle academies, fighting each other, which is just... And then you're delving into the past as another character in the shape of Laguna. So yeah, I understand why people can get a bit befuddled with the story, but I really, really enjoyed it. Key moments in the story which always stand out to me, playing as Laguna Lori for the first time, that was something that totally came out of the blue for me. It was awesome. I utterly love Laguna, Kiros and Ward, and I would really honestly love to see more done with those characters. Come on, let's give them a spin-off game. That would be ace, wouldn't it? Other standout moments for me in the story is Fisherman's Horizon. Now, Fisherman's Horizon, the song, is one of my all-time favourite songs from any video game, so that section always sticks out to me. And the other part is when you're in the space station and you're saving Rinoa from space and you're in the Ragnarok for the first time. That was outstanding because in Final Fantasy VII, that was a JRPG, my first JRPG and only JRPG I played, so you're basically on a planet. And I never thought I'd be playing out in space. I mean, floating out in space and saving a character that you really grown fond of. Now, speaking of characters, Squall gets a lot of flack for just... A lot of people think he's just a bit one-dimensional, the moody teen. But I really like Squall. I really enjoy his character. And it could have just been me growing up and... I'm trying to remember my age, but, I really, really liked Squall. He's got one of my all-time favourite weapons in Final Fantasy lore, the Gunblade. I absolutely love the Gunblade. I would love it to appear in another Final Fantasy game. I mean, imagine if it appeared in Final Fantasy VII Remake as a DLC weapon. That would be ace. Speaking of the music earlier, Nobuo Uematsu does a fantastic job with the soundtrack as well. I mentioned the likes of Fisherman's Horizon is now one of my all-time favourite JRPG songs. It's just an utter masterpiece. The battle music, the end game music as well, and Liberate Fatale, I've probably said that completely wrong. You know, the intro music, that always stands the test of time. You hear that and you know instantly that it's Final Fantasy VIII. I can't believe I did that. So the way I play Final Fantasy VIII is I mainly stick to playing it on PS Vita, because I am a handheld gamer, and I know that there's the Final Fantasy VIII remaster. Now I do have that, but the reason I stick with the PS1 version of the game on the PS Vita is because I know this sounds disgusting, but I like having it on widescreen. And the remastered version didn't have a widescreen option. It's still got the 4:9 ratio or whatever ratio it is. I cannot remember ratios for the life of me. You know the ratio I'm talking about. Now, what would I like to see with the future of Final Fantasy VIII? Well, I mean, the easy answer here is I'd love to see a remake done in the same sort of style as Final Fantasy VII Remake, having a action-based combat system. I would really think this would suit Final Fantasy VIII, especially with the different combat styles that the characters have. So you have Squall with his gunblade, you have Quistis with a whip, you have Zell, who is a fighting character like like Tifa was in Final Fantasy VII. You have Irvine with his gun, and Selphie with the nunchucks, and Renoa with her thing on her arm. I can't remember the name of it. Or she could just chuck her dogs. She could chuck her dog at the enemy. But yeah, I mean, the likelihood of it happening is very slim. But with the rumours of Final Fantasy IX getting a remake, and that had a remaster as well, you know, the realms of possibility, it could generally happen. And there's also the Final Fantasy X remake rumours which recently surfaced. So you never know. With the way that the gaming landscape currently is, we could very well get, and I would be all for it, because Final Fantasy VIII doesn't deserve the slack it gets. And I would think that having a fresh start with Final Fantasy VIII, having like a fully voiced cast, having a better battle system, I mean, there's nothing wrong with the old system, but having a different combat system to drag people back into that world, and maybe filling in plot holes and expanding the story and the lore, I think it would do Final Fantasy VIII justice. So anyway, what were your thoughts on Final Fantasy VIII? Let me know in the comments down below. And if you like what you're seeing with the channel, please help me grow it by liking, sharing and subscribing. And to be kept up to date with anything chicken fillets, please hit that notification bell. And if you can actually let me know if you like these off-the-cuff videos, because I will look to do more, because I quite enjoy just rambling on a wee bit and giving you my thoughts, unfiltered as you would. So anyway, this is Chicken Fillets, and until next time, tatty bye.